How's it going, Gon here? I'm feeling jaunty today. Really, I don't want nothing more than to get up and play the Lord of the Rings column and not complain. I'm joyous. But since I don't know what I'm gonna do today, let's see what the future portal right here has to say. Oh my god, I didn't know playing Golem had so many consequences. Let's play Sonic CD instead.
Now open your wings, you can do it. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up to the top of the world.
Not again, it's the third time already. Get out, I hate you. You were expecting Sonic 3, but nope. Sonic CD released prior to that one, and since it's kind of a mainline Sonic game and not a spin-off, we've gotta talk about this one first. So the Sega CD add-on for the Sega Genesis released in 1991, one of Sega's biggest flops. Add-ons just aren't the way to go. CD was the next big thing, but Sega just didn't get it. But hey, when a new Sega system launches, there's bound to be a new Sonic game, and the Sega CD was no different. The original idea was to port Sonic 1 to the Sega CD with some enhancements, but Sega said nope, and rightfully so. While Sega of America was developing Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for the Sega Genesis, Sega of Japan was working on a new Sonic game for the Sega CD. And what was it called? What? Oh, CD Sonic was the name during development, and only during development. Thank God. I sure hope Sega doesn't switch the names around and call it a day. That's exactly what they did. Sonic CD is the dumbest name I've heard all day. It's the same as calling God of War Ragnarok God of War Blu-ray. It's tragic. It's normal here to take a look at the development and the content of every game we talk about, and Sonic CD has some interesting things that never made it to the full game. Here's some unused sprites. Yes, Sonic is hanging. I don't know why, but he is. There was supposed to be a special ability that gave Sonic every power-up in the game. Nice. The game released in 1993 on the Sega CD and 2 years later on PC, and decades later, the 7th generation and mobile ports. And also Sonic Gems Collection. Fun fact, this is a pretty good release, but lacks Sega Sonic the Hedgehog arcade game. Sonic CD was met with mixed reactions. Weird that we got this kind of game after Sonic 2. This feels like the predecessor of that game. Sonic CD starts off with Palmtree Panic. If that name doesn't say anything, then I don't know what does. This stage is whack, it has some weird animations and music, and speaking of which, oh my god, they cooked with this soundtrack. The soundtrack had two variants actually, the Japanese and US versions, but I'll always go with the original Japanese version, much better. As I was saying, this stage is was that 3D graphics on my Sonic game? Holy shit! Sonic CD also introduced one of the oddest mechanics I've ever seen. I'm surprised how this even made it to the final product, and that's the time traveling mechanic. By hitting this pole that says future or past, you get transported into the future or past depending on where it lands. If you go to the past, you need to destroy Robotnik's machine. By doing that, you get the good feature of the stage. If not, well, you get pollution. Getting teleported into those areas are difficult though, you need to keep up with a certain amount of speed for like 5 seconds, and it's hard when there's obstacles everywhere. I didn't even try to save the stages afterwards, it just gets boring. Sonic is just not meant for exploration. Yeah, a curious fun fact I forgot to mention, Toei Animation of all companies made the intro cutscene for Sonic CD, but that smooth animation was practically useless since the finished product that we saw in the Sega CD version was a very pixelated slideshow. Pretty good animation nonetheless. There are 7 stages plus their future/past variants, and they're all pretty good and colorful, the best looking stages so far. Leaving a little shout out to Stardust Speedway, one of the greatest of all time. Come on, it's just like Music Park from Mario Kart. I love these kind of levels where they consist of just instruments. And speaking of Stardust Speedway, the battle against Metal Sonic takes place here. Metal Sonic is basically an improved version of Robot Sonic from Sonic 2, with a cooler design. He's become a series icon and a fan favorite over the years. Oh yeah, Amy Rose is here too. Sonic CD introduced so much stuff, man. It's weird they introduced more new characters than the mainline Sonic games we've taken a look so far. To think that Sonic's equivalent of Peach came from a Sega CD game is very disgusting. Back to the main game. The game gets lame after a while, and then there's the final level which is very hard. It's a hard journey for an easy ass boss. The final boss as easy as a mid-game Robotnik encounter in Sonic 1. Honestly, after finishing Sonic CD, I didn't feel complete. It's not because I didn't get all the Chaos Emeralds. Wait a minute. It is because I didn't get all the Chaos Emeralds.
Let's do this one more time. Let's get all the Chaos Emeralds.
I don't like Sonic CD. Sonic CD was the very first 2D Sonic game I've ever played and I'm very nostalgic for it. That's a fact. But it is incredibly weak compared to its predecessors. So many mechanics were introduced. But for what? Sonic is not built for exploration. Those future pass signs don't mean nothing to me when I'm all about the speed. Now, to defend Sonic CD, it did give us a very cool opening and Amy Rose and Metal Sonic, and that's solid, I guess. Sonic CD is not one of my favorites, but if you like it, praise it, I guess. I don't know what you Sonic CD fans do for a living.
I'm not a fan of Sonic CD, simple as that. Sorry if this review wasn't as long as my previous talks, but I just don't have much to say about Sonic CD. Well, now we know what's coming next. I can't wait to talk about this one and Knuckles, but let's leave it for another time. Now, if you excuse me, you may binge some Dragon Ball for the rest of the day. See ya.
Bye.